What if what's ending now actually began in another life? There are things the mind can't explain, but the soul recognizes instantly. Today, the sky brings us a rare moment. Saturn, Venus, and the North Node align in the final degrees of Pisces. And when that happens, karmic cycles close and spiritual gateways open. You might feel like crying for no reason. Someone might suddenly reappear. A past love might hit you out of nowhere, even if it's long gone. Or maybe you'll just realize you can't keep going like this. This is the Karmic Convergence. And if you're paying attention, it might mark the end of a story that began long before this lifetime. Have you ever felt something was over, even though no one said a word? Maybe love is still there. Maybe the routine goes on, but inside, you know something's shifted. You know it's done. You feel the weight of a cycle that's outlived its purpose. That's exactly the kind of vibe this astrological convergence activates. Venus, Saturn, and the North Node are aligned in Pisces, the sign that rules the unseen, the past, the soul's emotional memory. And this meeting triggers endings that don't need fights, drama, or big speeches. They happen deep within, and they prepare your soul for something far greater. If you're feeling a strange kind of tiredness, an emotional emptiness, or an urge to let go, don't fight it. You might be closing a bond that began before you were even born. This isn't a common event, and it's not a light one. Venus, love, Saturn, responsibility, and the North Node, the soul's destiny, meet in the final degrees of Pisces, one of the most spiritual and subtle points in the zodiac. This isn't about logic, it's about energy, it's about sensing the end of a pattern and the beginning of something new you can't quite define yet. Here, Saturn is the emotional boundary you need to learn to honor. Venus reveals what you truly value and what you need to stop romanticizing. And the North Node points toward where your soul longs to go, even if it means letting go of people, stories, or versions of yourself you once loved. This convergence is a karmic mirror. You might feel like you're closing an entire book, and that the next chapter will be nothing like the last. But it can only begin if you have the courage to let go. Saturn is known for being tough, but in Pisces, it doesn't yell, it reveals. It reveals what you've been carrying for far too long. It shows what you've been trying to romanticize, even though it's been draining you. It shows what you need to release, even if love is still there. In this alignment with Venus and the North Node, Saturn brings a spiritual harvest. You might notice it in the form of a relationship that no longer holds, even without a real reason. Someone returning to your life to finally close what was left open. An unexpected clarity about what you truly want emotionally and what you'll never tolerate again. Saturn in Pisces reveals what you've put up with in the name of love, and that realization can hurt, but it's exactly what saves you from repeating the same karmic loop. This isn't a transit for impulsive decisions, it's a time for lucidity, for realizing some stories have already given all they could, and that sometimes letting go with compassion is more mature than holding on out of fear. Venus in Pisces is love without boundaries. It's when you feel like you love someone before even meeting them. It's when a single look carries an entire story. It's when a connection feels out of time and beyond logic. This dissolving, mystical, hypersensitive Venus now joins Saturn and the North Node. And what she stirs up are emotional memories that stretch way back. You might dream about someone from your past. A name might pop into your mind out of nowhere, You might reconnect with someone who touches you in an inexplicable way. This Venus invites you to feel with your soul, not your mind. But be careful. This same Venus also exposes where you're still idealizing too much, where you give yourself away, hoping to be rescued, where you love with illusion, and call it spiritual. This transit reveals something essential. True spiritual love doesn't save you. It challenges you. It pulls you out of your comfort zone. It demands presence. And now, maybe you're finally ready for that kind of love, or at least ready to let go of what's already shown. It has nothing left to give. The North Node represents the soul's journey, and in Pisces, it speaks of faith, of surrender, of letting go of control and following your intuition, even without knowing where it leads. With Venus and Saturn by its side, you may feel something calling you. It could be a new relationship. It could be a new value. It could be a new version of yourself, trying to emerge. But that calling comes with a test. Are you truly willing to leave the past behind? The North Node won't drag you, but it will close doors decisively. And if you cling to what's over, you'll feel the weight of being on the wrong path. This is the time to ask yourself, am I choosing out of fear or awareness? Am I with someone because I love them, or because I'm afraid of being alone? Am I repeating an old script, or finally making space for the new because your soul knows? And the cosmos is aligned with that knowing right now. All you need to do is listen. Honestly, some people show up in your life like a comet. They don't ease their way in. They crash through, and you feel it in your body that this is no coincidence. This convergence between Venus, Saturn, and the North Node might trigger exactly that. Soul reunions. You might dream of someone you haven't seen in years. An old love might reappear out of nowhere. Or you might meet someone new and instantly feel a deep familiarity that defies logic. These reunions aren't always about happily ever after. Sometimes they show up to close a chapter that never got proper closure, deliver a lesson you're finally ready to understand, confirm that you're now able to love in a new way. The soul recognizes, but now it has to decide, keep clinging to the past, or use this reunion as a bridge to something greater. Not every love that hurt was a mistake. Some loves came with a mission. They came to crack the shell, to show what you've tolerated for too long, to expose how much you've been losing yourself out of fear of being alone. These difficult loves are often the most karmic. They shake everything. They throw you off balance. But they also hand you back a kind of power you didn't even know you had. Now, Saturn, Venus, and the North Node are revealing the true role of those bonds. What if what wounded you also shaped you? What if that painful ending was actually the beginning of your truth? What if you only matured because someone let you fall? This transit isn't here to reopen old wounds just for the drama. It's here to show you that you made it through. And now, you get to choose differently. That's the question the sky is shouting right now. Because when Saturn, Venus, and the North Node align, the universe stops protecting you from your own patterns. If you keep choosing from fear, from lack, from attachment, you'll repeat, even if the name is different, even if the faces change, even if it looks new on the surface. Because cycles don't shift with people. They shift with awareness. You might be standing at a turning point, letting someone go, forgiving an old version of yourself, closing a chapter you've reopened 1,000 times, or for the first time, refusing to accept less than what your soul truly deserves. That's the challenge of this convergence, choosing differently, even when your heart still remembers, and trusting that if you let go with truth, What comes next won't be a replacement. It'll be evolution. Chapter 9. The soul is saying, enough. Will you listen? There might not be a big scene. No dramatic goodbye. No sudden epiphany. But there is silence. A sense of emptiness. A quiet knowing that something inside you has already gone. That's the soul's signal that a cycle has ended. Even if love still lingers. Even if there's still affection. Even if it seems like you could keep trying. But deep down, you already know. What you're holding on to now is just attachment. And the soul wants lightness, wants space, wants integrity with what it truly feels, not with what's familiar. This convergence of Saturn, Venus, and the North Node seals that truth. It says, you've learned what you needed. Now, let go. And if you listen, you might feel the peace that follows surrender. The calm that comes when you stop clinging out of fear and start choosing from self-love. This is one of those rare moments when the sky opens, but it doesn't hand out easy answers. It holds up mirrors. What you're seeing today in people, emotions, reunions, are reflections of what still needs to be released or fully embraced. You can keep repeating the same cycle, dressed in new clothes, or you can finally close the book and start a new one. It's not about losing anyone. It's about finding yourself. It's about understanding that some loves came to remind you who you are, even if they left, even if they hurt, even if they don't stay. Today, the choice is in your hands, and the love you choose now will shape where your soul goes from here. If this video touched something only your soul could understand, but deep down, you know it's real, drop a comment below. I accept the ending that sets me free. This phrase is a silent pact with what's closing and with everything waiting for you on the other side. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and remember, we don't talk astrology to predict the future. We talk it to align the soul with it. See you in the next one.